not born in the United States. That's confusing enough. We could get into that later. Texas A&M will start in lane number 5. They come in with a season best 3:02.98. And UCLA, outside of the Aggies, will be in lane number 6. Ahmad Robinson supposed to be the leadoff for Texas A&M. Antoine Norget for UCLA. We'll give you our disclaimer now. We are given running orders. They aren't always correct. And if we can't see the names on the chest, we are bound to misidentify a runner from time to time. We apologize in advance for that. From the inside, Tennessee in 3, Clemson in 4, A&M in 5, UCLA in 6.
Well, and one athlete I certainly know that we're getting correct is that for Tennessee on the inside, that's Emmanuel Bynum. He just finished in 4th place in the open 400 meters. He'll lead off for the Volunteers.
UCLA gets the pole. Bynum well back. That 400 was a while ago, but this altitude will get you if you're not used to it. Clemson making a move. Wanya McCoy, their freshman, doing the leadoff duties. A&M coming off the turn hard. Ahmad Robinson trying to get his Aggies to pass first, but the Bruins get the stick around first. And for UCLA, Miles Meisner-Daly, 45.90 for UCLA's leadoff runner. A good start for the Bruins.
And you look at the times to get into this meet, though, Dwight, absolutely amazing. 3:04.36 was the slowest time getting in, but look at all these 3:03s. This is what we're used to at the NCAA level.
Six of the 12 teams are from the SEC, which is not unusual. But the U.S. collegians are stacked with quarter milers. That's why you've got so many great 4x400 relay squads in the country.
A good close by Therese Roden of Clemson to get the Tigers back in this race.
Willington Wright on 3rd carry duties for the Bruins. For Clemson, Cameron Rose. And for A&M, DeMarco Escobar. Tennessee well back. An adjustment for Dwayne Ross coming off the great North Carolina A&T teams in the 4x4.
Well, Dwayne Ross will admit he calls it a rebuilding year. He just said he just doesn't have the bodies right now, but you can rest assured he'll have some 400-meter runners in no time.
Great pass by A&M. That's the way you pass the stick and take the lead away from the Bruins. For A&M, it is Ashton Schwartzman on the anchor. For UCLA, Ishmael Turner. 45.78 for for DeMarco Escobar for A&M. Coming to the bell, it is A&M and UCLA. Clemson well back, and Tennessee further back than that.
Ishmael Turner tried to pass on that first lap on the back straight, had to slow down, get back in position. Let's see if he can rally again for another pass opportunity.
Going wide in order to make that pass. He brings his Bruins home. They will win the first section and establish the time to beat 3:03.19, which is an improvement on their season best. 45.81 on the anchor for Ishmael Turner. .303.88 for the Aggies.
Well, for those young athletes at home, a good baton pass. Look at the way Ishmael Turner watches the baton go into his hand. He doesn't turn his head until he gets the baton, and then he's off and running. But here we see him gather for one last stretch. He ran that whole turn out in lane 2, so he ran a farther distance, but he just had more juice, more energy down the stretch. 3:03.19, though, solid time for the Bruins.
Point of personal preference, back in the days in the 70s when UCLA had enough quarter milers where they could have easily scored with 2 teams in the NCAA. We just didn't run indoors. We didn't have an indoor season. So it's good to see the Bruins back in it here in Albuquerque at the NCAA championship.
As well. Think about that SEC meet now. Instead of 10 heats of the 200 meters, we'll 15.
Yeah, there'll be 16 women's programs and 15 men's programs unless something gets shuffled. Here are the lane assignments. The Trojans in lane 3, Baylor 4, Arizona State in 5, and Oklahoma on the outside in lane 6. The best season time in this heat belongs to Arizona State at 3:03:09.
Well, they'll run Justin Robinson. Didn't qualify for the finals here, but did win the U.S. Indoor Championship here a couple weeks ago. They'll run him on the anchor leg. Jalen Drayden will lead off for the Sun Devils.
Zarek Brown lead off for Oklahoma, the junior. Once again from the inside, the Trojans of USC, the Baylor Bears in 4, Sun Devils in 5, and Sooners on the outside in lane 6. USC out hard. Justin Brown really going for it, the freshman, enjoying his NCAA debut. And a little bit of collision there, trying to get that pole position. Number of athletes breaking stride. So Oklahoma leads it over, USC leads it over Oklahoma, then Arizona State and Baylor. Coming to the first exchange. USC passes first, followed by Oklahoma, then Baylor and ASU.
Well, good pass by the USC Trojans on the inside, absolutely textbook. Well, one of the reasons that they do it so well, Quincy Watts is their head coach. He ran on a few good 4x4 relays back in the day.
It's Ashton Allen for the Trojans, and for the Sooners, Salem Epps. Jeremy Curry for Arizona State. And for Baylor, Nathaniel Ezekiel.
Well, Ezekiel, the 400-meter hurdlers, trying to bring Baylor back into this. Look at him make a move on the outside.
Just getting word from our stats man, Rich Benoit, that UCLA has been disqualified from that first section. I'll endeavor to find out why. So third leg runners, it's William Jones, the freshman for USC. For Baylor, DeMar Francis. Arizona State, Dubin Wachukwu. And for Oklahoma, Josh Boer. Told it's a lane violation for UCLA's disqualification from that first section. USC hands off first. Oh, I know that. I know that we've got the right guy there. That's Johnny Blockberger, son of Sheldon Blockberger, pretty decent multi-eventer in his day. And Baylor making a move with Matthew Moorer. He was second or third overall in the open 400. And for the Sun Devils, that's Justin Robinson trying to get them back into contention.
Well, keep an eye on Robinson in the back of the pack there. He's running on the outside. He's got a long ways to go. Oh, no.
Blockberger gets tripped up by Oklahoma's Missouri Matar. Really lost stride there. Can he hang on and come through victorious? No. For Oklahoma, they will win the section in 3:02:98, unofficially corrected to 97. But we might see a yellow card on that for a little impeding, not sure. Definitely lost a lot of momentum, did Johnny Blockberger, with that contact with 100 meters to go.
Well, solid time by the Oklahoma Sooners. Here we see the final handoff. Oh, and it just looked like the Arizona State runner was in the wrong position because Justin Robinson was clear out in lane 4, but here we see him come down the stretch. Nice finish by Missouri Matar, 3:02:98. Well, they're putting up a mark that teams in the next heat can beat, but they've got to run some of their most quality guys to do so.
Oklahoma establishes the time to beat for Section 3 at 3:02.97.
Heptathlon, he's over there as well. They're running their big guns.
And Matthew Bowling leading off for Georgia. "35 minutes after winning the 200 meters in a lifetime best. He is a reliable workhorse for Coach Carol Smith Gilbert down there in Athens, Georgia. Bowling gets the pole, and he makes Alabama's Chris Robinson run a little bit wide. It is Bowling. And if you're a sprinter, you got to cover everything from 60 meters up to 400. And Bowling is huffing and puffing. That 35 minutes was not so much rest since that 200. He's feeling it. But Georgia passes first. And quite the battle to stay in that inside lane. For Alabama, that's Demetrius Jackson working awful hard to try to pass. He is burning a lot of energy. 45:31 or 45:30 for Matt Bowling on that leadoff.
Well, both of these athletes up front really ran hard in that first 200 meters to try to get into the rail, but now let's see how they can manage on this second lap as the third and fourth place Bamadelli is coming up from Florida on the outside.
Emmanuel Bamadelli for Florida trying to make a move. Now here comes Arkansas. James Benson Jr. He emerges from the pack, and the Razorbacks will pass first to Aiden Owens-Delerme, the runner-up in the heptathlon. He also broke the old collegiate record by Ashton Eaton, 44:91 for James Benson Jr. on that carry for the Razorbacks.
Well,
for Georgia, sorry, it is Caleb Kavanaugh.
Well, Aiden Owens-Delerme, he ran an outstanding 1,000 meters, but he was really feeling that last lap of the 1,000. But I'm kind of surprised he's running here. He did run on that 3:01 back here when they ran that 3:01. But I just don't know if it's necessary that he runs this 4x4 here today.
Caleb Kavanaugh for Georgia just cannot get ahead of Aiden Owens-Delerme. Arkansas will pass first. Their anchor, Christopher Bailey, scored in the open 400 for Georgia. It is Will Sumner, the freshman, 46:56 for Aiden Owens-Delerme.
And for Florida, that's Ryan Willie moving up through the pack there. But Christopher Bailey has been such a reliable anchor runner for the University of Arkansas this season. He's got 2 44-point anchor legs under his belt this season.
Bell lap. Ryan Willie trying to make a move on the youngster, but it's not going to happen. Christopher Bailey anchoring from Arkansas, and they're putting the cherry on the sundae. They're already 21 points ahead, and they're going to be the winners of the 4x400 relay, no doubt. 3:02.09, and then 10 more points for the Razorbacks. 44:15 anchor for Christopher Bailey. A 44:76 for the freshman from Georgia, Will Sumner. He's not a quarter miler, by the way, folks. He's a half miler.
Well, Christopher Bailey went into overdrive on that last lap. He just took off with about 150 meters to go. Just showed why Arkansas has been so dominant all season long.
Arkansas records the number 9 all-time 4x400 time.